You know what's crazy about flying Delta One?
Tell me, I've never.
They let you vape.
They let you vape on Delta One?
They let you vape on Delta One. Some of the flight attendants in Delta One, of which there are many, by the way.
And are they exclusive to Delta One? Like, this is a different...
Yes,
do you
and
think
they're
they
also...
go to, like, etiquette school?
Yeah, you get your own TSA, which, by the way, there's, like... I'm going through TSA by myself in my private TSA. There's about, like, 5 people helping me through Delta One in a way that I don't need 5 people to help me through security. But they're all kind of helping me. They're very attentive. They're all offering me things. Like, one's like, do you want a ginger shot? Another one's like, do you want champagne? Like, do you want... You know what I mean? Like... What do you want? Do you want a bottle of cocaine?
Healthy and drunk.
And I'm kind of like going through, and then I'm like, no offense, but like I did actually see the line upstairs, and it seems like some of y'all, they might need some help.
Yeah, they might need some backup.
I don't need as many of you guys.
As 5 attendants.
However, I did, and then there was when you go in, then you get like 10 different kind of waiters and servers to kind of help you with whatever you need, and then you go to your flight, and it's the same. All of the flight attendants, there's about 40 of them, and they're all kind of, so you have about 10 personal servants. To help you with whatever you need. Like, they'll paint your toenails, they'll do your eyebrows, like, they'll do whatever you ask them to do.
It's a classic, and I've been needing to get my nails and eyebrows done.
Yeah, and you can actually do it if you...
trip.
Yeah, so you should fly Delta One, because they'll take care of literally everything. It's amazing.
Not to be POV, but, you know, grew up Midwest, middle class, 2 moms, so they're working for 80 cents on the dollar. Yeah. That starts to add up. We were Southwest people.
Yeah.
We were AirTran. Remember the one that, like, crashed into the swamp? I just had a
visceral memory when you said we were Southwest people of a time. This is actually so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Of a time I threw a huge fit for my mom because we were Southwest people, and I wanted to fly first class, and I thought that was, like, a value we should have as a family.
Yeah.
Is that
it was part of your personal philosophy.
Yeah, is that we don't fly Southwest, we fly first class.
Yeah.
And I
Which
threw
Southwest,
like
of course.
a big fucking fit, and then we get off the plane, and my mom like sees someone she knows, and we're like chatting it up with them, and then she was like pulls me aside, and she's like, yeah, that couple, and she like describes, she's like, they live in that one house in Briarcliff that you can see when you drive by.
Yeah,
like
they live
lightning. They're like a multi-millionaire type family. She's like, and they're flying Southwest, bitch. Like,
thank you.
She was like, I don't want to fucking hear it.
No, like.
And I'm like, where did I get off? Like, I don't know.
We're getting bad messaging.
Yeah, I don't know what in my life like made me so sure that I was angry at my mother at that age for not flying us first class. Like, that's crazy.
Not to be.
And it's not something I had done either. You know what I mean? I didn't have friends who were doing that. I'm like, where did I come up with the idea that I...
Like, was it London Tipton?
Was entitled. Yeah, it was something like that. Like, for some reason, I felt really entitled that should be my lifestyle.
It was also in the music all the time. First class, up in the sky.
Yeah.
And
sure. It was the culture around first class, but it just felt like something I should have access to.
Right. And when we're growing up right around the financial crisis, like, morality and money are put together, that if you have money, it's because you deserved it, and if you don't, it's because you don't deserve it, and that this is a moral and actually justified thing.
Yeah.
And if you're superior, which you're growing up being like,
I'm superior.
Yeah, I'm becoming a person. Like, I just got consciousness.
Well, I also felt like I was the 1%. Like, I remember when that was going on, I was like, thank God I'm the 1%. Looking back, I don't know if true.
Anyway, I have like $700 in flight credits at Southwest because like I was, and then I was spending money and then forgetting I'd spent it and trying to rebook tickets, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but now everywhere that I'm trying to get, which unfortunately is like random ass, like my family keeps moving to states with bathroom bills and being like, you have to come visit. Like, I can't pee there.
Sure.
It's going to have to be a quick trip.
Yeah, right.
My sister's getting married. I'm like, it's going to be we're going to have to do it at the Delta One Lounge. Like, I don't know where else.
No, you're going to have to do it at the Delta One Lounge, which honestly would be a beautiful venue for a wedding, although where?
We can't afford it.
Oh. Are we ready to talk about the text today?
I feel ready. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah, do you want to introduce it?
Well, yeah, I mean, first I just want to say welcome to Stream Queens, the pod. I'm Erin McKeon.
I'm Julia Wendt.
We are 2 members of the Bushwick Intellectual Elite, of course. We are also roommates. We are also a Tribeca star of stage and also writing, and an Emmy Award-winning producer. Clock it.
Yeah.
And
the hardware.
we're here to discuss a text that we have just been buzzing about, that we're so excited. Like, I'm kind of physically shaking and I feel sick and really nervous because we're discussing one of our favorite texts of all time, I think, today, and I don't say that lightly.
No, we don't.
I can't even say it. We're discussing Lin-Manuel Miranda's masterpiece, Hamilton.
Hamilton, the the text and as we like our relationship, what it's done for us.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more thrilled.
I couldn't be more thrilled to discuss it because it's really like the amount of Hamilton I'm listening to is like I'm always thinking like I'm biking around the city, I'm walking up to dinner, I'm doing all these things, and I look around all the time and I'm like, nobody knows that I'm listening to Hamilton. You know what I mean? Like it's nighttime, I'm biking over the Williamsburg Bridge and my headphones are 1776.
Well, and I thought
and I'm like, they can't tell.
I thought you were going to say that like they can't tell, but I was listening to Hamilton, the soundtrack here.
Yeah.
You're on Mercer Street. You're on Lafayette Street. Like you're downtown.
No,
you're
like, did you forget
Brooklyn,
Lafayette? I didn't. I have to turn there every day.
In a sound suite one time, I was trying to at Tisch University School of the
Canbar Institute of Film and Television.
For sure.
If true.
At one of the sound editing suites, someone was in the next one over blasting Hamilton. And it's like, well, we're recording sound, so now I can't record sound. And that was when I developed like an adversarial relationship.
Oh, okay, of course.
And it wasn't until like pandemic times that I was like,
hold
what
on.
am I hearing?
Because this is pretty good.
How did we get into Hamilton?
I have actually,
it's so ubiquitous.
As we plan to do this episode, I'm like, I have genuinely no idea when I became a person who knows every single word to the Hamilton soundtrack and listens to it. I mean, I will be shocked if this year it's not my number one like Spotify Wrapped album.
I don't know what else it would be.
Because I don't know what else it would be. I'm listening to it so constantly, but I really don't know when that happened. Like I was trying to think, I think I've seen it on Broadway, but I don't know if it, even when I saw it, it had such an impact on me. I feel like it was in the last couple years that I was like, really got into Hamilton.
Well, a part of that I wonder is like, it's corny.
I was definitely averse to the corniness of it for sure. For
the
a
popularity,
long time.
I was like,
the popularity. Also, while I enjoy Broadway, and I really actually do, I've never wanted to. It's, you know what? It's the same reason I didn't. The corniness is what kept me from. I was a theater kid my whole life in the Midwest, but then when I was like starting to consider like going to school for theater, I would like go see theater departments, and I was like, yes, I can't be around these folks. Like I can't be identified with. It was not cool enough for me. And
well, you don't hear us inviting Lin-Manuel Miranda to come sit on the
pod.
No.
No. Like I love. Like I think you're a genius, Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I don't really want to hang.
No.
But not in a bad way. Like it's nothing to you. It's just like you're a theater person.
No, and
like,
he's inviting himself to everything. He's like John M. Chu. Let me be the little munchkin at the beginning of Wicked, who's like, she's dead. She's dead. Be great at that. It's just like Galindo.
We're gonna have to cover Wicked soon. But Hamilton. What a masterpiece text, though. Like I really.
Who do you think we had like? Who would you be in the musical? Because we're listening to soundtrack, like we're streaming the album.
That is true. We're we're not watching this so much as we are streaming this on Spotify
over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such a hard question. Like, who would I want to play?
Oh, I guess I didn't.
Or who do I identify with as a person?
Yeah. Who would you want to be, or who would you be cast at? Like, I think, and even those are like different.
Put yourself in the casting director's shoes.
Yeah. Or how answer it both ways.
I guess, I mean, part of me, this is where, I mean, because fundamentally, I, of course, identify with the plight of Hamilton because I am...
Of your greatness.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I'm mouthy. I can be a little reckless. And I also tend to have... when I drink, I also get pretty revolutionary in my thoughts.
Radical.
You know what I'm saying? Like I get radicalized, and I also can get a group pretty wound up and on my side. Like kind of that's when they first meet Hamilton. They're like, "Who is this guy?" And then he starts kind of drinking and talking, and everybody's like, "We fucking love this guy." I'm like,
this guy.
I really identify with that version of Hamilton. But that being said,
tell me
if I'm being cast in a Hamilton, like low key.
Yeah, who are they like?
I think I've definitely got some Aaron Burr qualities for sure. I think I have
Foil
kind of
Aaron Burr.
I kind of have a ambition with sometimes little moral alignment. I also can be a bit preachy in how I think people should approach things.
Sure.
And I think I also have kind of a desperation for power that you really see in Aaron Burr's character. But I think the fact that I hold those two very close is really what the musical is about, and about having these foil characters is like, aren't we all Hamilton and Burr at different moments in our lives?
Well, and aren't they each other at different points in their lives?
Of course.
And that there's so much good social media. There's so many good TikTokers talking about this text right now.
There are so many good TikTokers doing
Shout
the
out
Hamilton trend. Ashley.
Violet Swamp.
Oh, who's Violet Swamp? Oh, is she the one who did that amazing kind of like rundown of the musical, like the refrains and the different musical elements that each character is kind of introduced in and why they're so perfect?
Yeah, and they're so and how Lin-Manuel Miranda writes to the different performers to give them the sultry of the Mrs. Reynolds, the like beltiness of the fabulous woman who plays
Angelica Schuyler.
Yes, Philippe. Oh well, I think the Philippa I'm thinking of.
I don't know the actor names.
Neither.
I'm just gonna put
Eliza.
I'm gonna go characters.
Let's go.
I don't know the actor names.
Yes.
Back to I don't know about Broadway. All love to you guys. I really do love to see a show when I can. I really appreciate the art.
Violet Swamp was talking about Aaron and Alexander as foils and not like enemies, not antagonists. Foil means opposite.
Yeah.
And that cracked this open for me in another way too.
Yeah.
And you also talked about like I'm in therapy right now talking about parts work. You were kind of thinking about Hamilton as parts work for Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I do think Hamilton, I think like all great auteur driven masterpieces, every character does become parts therapy. I think has a lot to do with storytelling, creativity, and world building. I really do. I mean, I think when I'm working on shows and characters, I notice these are all, every character is just a piece of me as a writer. And so I think Lin-Manuel Miranda, that Hamilton really is that as a text. Like he's got embodiments of all of the positive and negative and oppositional qualities. You know, we all contain multitudes that often contradict and disagree with each other within ourselves. That's what parts therapy teaches you, is like, how do you quiet one part or put one part in the driver's seat, put another part here? Where do those parts come from? Letting them all be valid and a part of you, but have them in conversation with each other. Which sometimes when I talk about parts therapy, it does sound like I'm like, in the wrong hands, I think it could lead to a kind of schizophrenic multiple personality situation if you get too into parts therapy, but that's another conversation. Right. But I think creativity and the way Lin-Manuel Miranda handled parts therapy, which was to write an absolute
over the course
masterpiece
of
called
10
Hamilton.
years,
wait, who would you play or be cast as? Let's have that conversation.
Okay, so again, villains are like everything to me.
Well, you've always identified as a trickster.
And Disney villains, like, their queer coding clearly spoke to me in that my childhood bedroom was villains themed. Like, big villains poster. I loved Maleficent. Like, the matching tall dolls of the villains. Yeah. And that was my deep personality.
Yeah.
I love the King's 3 songs. Like Jonathan Groff.
You would crush as the fucking king. And I love the king is such a good fucking character to characterize the King of England in the American Revolution as a kind of like petulant, abusive husband type role.
I, of course, was like, Jonathan Groff is putting on too much. Like, you know how when you're out of community for a little bit and you start to think that like it's bad. I was like, he's being so faggy. Like, he's being so fat. He's playing up the fag to make this, to remind us that femininity and faggotry is bad and morally wrong and frivolous, and which is often how kings, I mean, like, you know, Robin Hood, the tiger in that, being a little like eggy jewelry hound. It's again a tool to show that.
I guess that is funny because I always think of, which of course I see that these things are like queer coded, but of course I always think of the jewelry and stuff as more of a, it's more decadence than anything, because like I can see the king, right, never necessarily read as like a gay guy to me. It was reading more as like a, because there's also a kind of like Stanley Tucci-esque straight guy who can be like that, you know what I'm saying? Like someone who's like got this
Decadence is from the Latin, like moral failure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's decadent and it's immoral, but it doesn't necessarily read queer.
Yes, and I think
reads
that
like
decadence and the fall of
uber-capitalist.
society are often blamed on queerness and diversion from heteronormativity and
That's
cis
interesting.
heteronormativity. Yeah. I don't know how much that's going on here. I would also, speaking of, like, while I do not condone, and I learned this on, thanks again, Daryl from 5th grade for teaching me that slavery is bad.
Daryl.
It's like, what's his name? Thomas Jefferson. Bad guy, hate him.
Thomas Jefferson's coming home.
But talk about foil and talk about a great, like, trickster little motherfucker. I would be perfectly castable as a Thomas Jefferson little stinker who's oppositional for the point of being a little son of a gun.
But I never hear you doing a Southern accent.
You've never heard me do a Southern accent?
I don't think it's one of your regulars.
No.
What did I miss?
What did I miss? LM sweet home, let me give you a kiss.
Yeah, see,
this isn't my audition.
No, you didn't really go Southern there either.
Well, again, I'm gonna do it in a way that's gonna fuck it up either way.
You're gonna do it different.
Which I also would appeal to Hamilton. I'm like Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda called him Hamilton. I'm like, I would appeal to Lin-Manuel Hamilton's sensibility and kind of subversive type casting to be like, let me trans this a little bit.
For sure. That could be really cool in a Thomas Jefferson type character. God, it is such a funny... I think Hamilton, there's a text... I mean, there's so... God, I mean, I just feel like we could talk about it for hours. But I'm like, one of it, of course, brings up for me is patriotism in general, right? Whereas, like, I think the timing Hamilton came out was...
2015.
2015. When did Trump get elected? 16?
16.
Yeah, so it was kind of like we were in an era where kind of like that, I think, reignited a lot of patriotism and excitement around the founding fathers and around all of this, you know what I mean, this whole culture that is ours. But it's funny, like, I'm like,
culture is ours to lose and to defend. And
I'm, of course, as we all know, a diehard kind of USA patriot type of person. Like,
it's hard to remember what kind of person you are.
Because I change it so frequently.
Well, you've got a lot of parts.
I've got a lot of parts. But one part of me is definitely very patriotic, and I do love America and the ideals it was founded on, and you can quote me on that. But Hamilton is interesting because it's like the revolutionary aspect, and I think the way we were taught about the revolution, the way it was characterized in this musical, as well as like every history book and stuff that we ever read, which is kind of a very self-righteous take on it, right?
A different storyteller.
Yeah, the way we tell our story is like these incredible revolutionaries, you know, like really doing this for the people to get rid of kind of a reign of a foreign land,
which
when it's
as
like,
far as I can tell, is fictional. Yeah,
which as far as I can tell is not quite so what happened,
right?
But this was all leading me to say, do you think Hamilton the musical and the culture around it has anything to do with January 6th?
I wonder how, like, J6 heads
like feel about Hamilton the musical?
Yeah, because you know how red hat types will watch Wicked and be and like see the same thing that like somebody who is like, we shouldn't put anybody in cages type stuff can look at it and be like, see, it's wrong. They're like, no, like it's all perspective. I guess I don't have a lot of perspective on like what J6 heads think about like their part
like,
in
what do they
revolution.
think about Wicked?
Oh, they like I can't again
they like it, but
articulate it.
But you're
they
saying
see
they
themselves
kind of, they see themselves as kind of the wizard.
I don't think it's okay so. I think they think themselves as the hero. I don't remember. I don't know how, but they're seeing it the same thing. And they think of like the silencing of like, they see the wizard silencing the animals as like them silencing truth and them being
that's
like
cancel culture.
Yep.
Oh, period.
And they're like, if you don't see it as cancel culture, you're missing the signs.
Oh,
and then I have
the silencing of the animals is the silencing of conservative voices in popular media because the media is owned by the left.
Yes, and then I have a friend who's like, the animals are Palestinians being silenced.
Of course.
Palestinian voices.
Yeah. Or immigrants being caged and
yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know how, like, maybe they see themselves as Hamilton. Maybe they see themselves as more of, unfortunately, like a Jefferson type.
Well, yeah, because I think it's hard if you're identifying with Hamilton because being an immigrant is so much of his story. But then again, maybe they're all like, he was a legal immigrant.
And he was white. He's mixed.
I think he's white based on the pictures I have seen.
Yeah.
However, he's
son
from
of a whore and a Scotsman.
West Indies.
And they call him a Creole bastard.
Creole bastard. And also, I will say, I was reading a little on Wikipedia today, and it said he was from the West Indies, and I gotta admit, I don't know what or where that is.
The West Indies, I believe that's the
means?
Caribbean. It's talking about the Caribbean,
so then, is he white?
I don't know what race his mother was.
Can someone please let us know Alexander Hamilton, the historical figure's race?
Well, and then, right, and he, that beginning song, trading in sugar and rum and things that he can't afford, the riches that were being exploited upon the land and harvested by slaves that were, or people who were enslaved and captured from Africa and had to be brought here because the natives of those islands, like 90% of them had been killed by plague as Europeans came here.
Sure.
So there were not people alive to harvest all of this shit that he's trading on. So when you see like the ideals that this country's built on, I think that this patriotism aspect is... It's interesting to hear somebody else tell this story, like Lin-Manuel Miranda, that is hopeful, is something that kind of is echoes the melting pot thing. Like it's a different political moment where we were more I'm not articulating this point well.
No, but I mean, I think when Lin-Manuel Miranda did like the casting, right? Of course, doing the kind of, it's not even colorblind. It's actually very like intentionally subversive casting to not really cast who's even white in the show, just the king. Just the king, right?
Yep.
So it's like to cast it that way at that time. I think we had a much more utopian, this is what America really looks like today. Like that was the culture of the time, which obviously has had major blowback. So I guess the J6 crowd would probably not like the casting, but you must love the story. I think if you consider yourself a patriot, it's hard to not love this story, because even the way Lin-Manuel Miranda kind of does, he rewrites history a little bit by acknowledging, he acknowledges slavery multiple times in the text in a way that these guys were not doing. Like,
which guys? Sorry.
The founding fathers.
No,
they weren't doing it in that way. Like Hamilton didn't really speak out on slavery. I think maybe he mentioned kind of half-heartedly one time that he was like, yeah, it's probably not good and it probably won't. There was an awareness. So from what I know about George Washington, like there was a deep awareness that slavery could not last forever at this time, but they were obviously, the economy was built on it, and nobody at this time is really talking about ending that institution. I mean, some people, of course, are abolitionists, but I mean, this founding father group in the musical Hamilton aren't really, like, that is not a number one agenda item by any means.
Which is why I think that it's a misreading or a misinterpretation, and it's actually a distraction for us to have a conversation or entertain like a Lin-Manuel Miranda-esque perspective of like what's built by these people, and these ideals are something that are actually just and true, and they could be for everybody. They just at the time had a very specific idea of who everybody is. No, these were people who built a system to protect them only.
Of course.
When we talk about like slavery or what people were or weren't acknowledging, like somebody was talking about Epstein and Trump online, like this person who's the author of this book that's forthcoming, I love that word, forthcoming, a resistance history of the United States. But talking about like the Epstein list at the time would have been Jefferson, would have been George Washington. Like, they were raping routinely 12, 13, 14-year-old. And we still have this, like, they're the founding, like, except for that fucked up shit that they were doing, like slavery and like the child rape, like they had good ideas.
Right.
The ideas were to protect and cover up and support the slavery and child rape, you guys. Sure. Like, it's not like if we tweak it a little bit, it's actually like, it's just a And so, but to your point, like we were at a place where we could kind of have fun with history in a way. Now it's like, oh,
yeah, I think we were much more willing to have some fun with history
yeah,
at that time than we are today, now 10 years later. That seems very true. Because, yeah, it was fun in the day. And even that fun lasted for a while. Because, I mean, I had a lot of fun. Remember when I was a historical TikToker?
yeah. Congrats. Do you know? I mean, maybe some people, maybe some viewers know you from Dads of History.
Yeah, Dads of History was my TikTok series that I engaged in 2020.
Yeah.
It was a different time on TikTok. It was a different time in general in my life. But I was making TikToks basically looking at historical figures and asking the question like, oh, this was a founding father, but was he a good dad? And then I would talk about them as fathers and then rate them on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And the Hamilton one was interesting.
Yeah, we watched. We watched that a second ago.
That. Yeah, we watched that today just to kind of refresh. I was like, what did I say on Dads of History about that? But I remember I rated him between a 4 and a 6.
Yeah,
which of course is the number 5, but I kept going between 4 and 6. But
it's not the number 5. Otherwise, you would have said 5.
I would have said 5. It was 4 or it was 6. I couldn't really decide. But it was because of
which is a higher rating than some of the other founding fathers.
He was one of my highest ratings.
Yeah.
Most of my founding fathers and all, because I would do the father of, I did a psychoanalysis. I would do Sigmund Freud. I would do the father of, physics, whatever. Like I would do all these different people.
Are they a good
dad? And Hamilton got one of the highest scores of the entire series because the point of the series was, of course, to expose similarly to what you're talking about of these people who started the country were not only slave owners, but very much were trying to create a society in which they could continue doing that and just them. But that they were also terrible fathers to their children is something that happens again and again throughout history, where we look at so many great men and we acknowledge them for their ideas and their kind of like what they did to change humanity. And a lot of these men, they are great men. They do have big, broad visions for humanity. They want to move the culture forward, but they don't tend to care about the people directly in front of them and in their lives. And they have families as kind of accessories and to keep them stable while they focus on the world at large. But they tend to often be neglectful husbands and fathers, which to me has always been, like when we talk about masculinity, I'm like, that's a very masculine idea of what like greatness is, of what it means to be a good person and to have ideals about the world. Whereas I think a more feminine way to be an idyllic kind of person, a person who's very idealistic, not idyllic, idealistic.
Sure.
But is to live out your ideals in your day-to-day. Even looking at the Eliza and Hamilton characters, right?
Yeah.
Hamilton on one hand is going to be ignoring, he's cheating, he's not really paying attention to his son, even on his 9th birthday when he's trying to read him a poem.
Ultimately, he fucks up. Gets his son killed.
Like he's obviously neglecting his family. He's not really going away with her upstate and all of these things despite all her begging. But he is a redeemable person because his ideals about the state of our nation and his drive to affect humanity on a grand scale make it all kind of okay. But whereas Eliza is she's the greatest ideal of kind of a woman in this musical, where she's all about taking care of her son, taking care of her daughter, and then she ends up starting the orphanage. She's very much more concerned with living ideals of being a good person in your direct community.
Sure.
Whereas he's more ignoring his direct community and kind of idealistic about how he sees the world going.
Right.
Which I think are just like a masculine and feminine idea of greatness and which one can kind of win out. And at least,
okay.
Or I guess more it's these who lives, who dies, who tells your story. We often tell the masculine story of greatness and we very seldom tell a story of a more feminine type of greatness where you are just a
it's interesting because
strong community member, which could be more of the solution. If you want an ideal world, it might behoove you to live that in your day-to-day life rather than just kind of writing treatises for a future you don't know about.
And trying to not get your kids killed so much.
I
mean, that's the question of legacy comes up a lot in this, and especially with those two characters, right? Like, who are your legacy? What is your legacy? Are ideas a legacy if no one is living it? Like,
and no one and who's alive to tell your story. Well, legacy is. Does Eliza have that line in Burn, or is it only in First Burn?
You just taught me about First Burn. Which is...
First Burn is it's the first version, I believe, of the song Burn, one of the seminal songs of the musical.
One of the ones that we're belting.
Yeah, one of our favorite ones to sing. But First Burn is the original version of it that got scrapped from the musical because it makes Hamilton out to be irredeemable as a character and makes you not want to agree with him through the rest of the musical. So Lin-Manuel kind of softened it, what Burn is. But First Burn has been released.
You know these guys had slaves, right?
But First Burn has a couple lines that are really
the kind of lines that you and I go, you and I love to hear a song and go, no, wait, this line,
this one, listen to this,
saying it again so you can't hear the next line, and then playing it back,
and then let me rewind and hear the part again where she says, I know about whispers, I see how you look at my sister.
Full chills, like this shit works.
And then she also says, when will you realize that we are your legacy, as in her and her children? She's like, when your whole thing is about your legacy, we are your legacy, bitch. Hello. You're ignoring us.
Yes.
Hello.
And making us look like fools.
Making us look like fools by releasing the Reynolds pamphlet.
Which gets to another one of, we were like, we got the cheating plot is something you and I are deeply interested in. Like, that's our beat. That's our beat. A cheating plot, that's our beat. Have that conversation.
Yeah.
And what I love about Dads of History, and then I think this conversation that we're entertaining is like, you're not saying he's a bad guy because he was a bad dad. You're saying he was good at this thing. Was he good at this? I don't know if we went out in this musical, to use your conversation, like that word, between what is right and what is wrong on legacy. Right. Is it your family? Is it your ideas? Is it both? And
yeah, well, I mean, it's the same question I think you're asking with the founding fathers in general, right? Can these ideas be good if they did not intend them to apply to everyone, right? And I don't know. I don't know if we have a resolved answer to that. I don't think I do. I don't think somebody is, because they're a bad father or husband, like you're saying, I don't think that means their ideas are all bad.
No, I'm hanging out with a lot of those guys.
For sure.
I mean, I'm not, but I would be. I'm like, you're hanging out with a lot of those guys. Right, and I'm like, I probably wouldn't be a good father. I'm not doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the other thing that you and I argue all the time, too. It's like, no problems.
A good fucking father.
The goat.
Oh, my God. I want to be a dad so fucking bad.
Well, I mean, we'll get into this.
This is another conversation about my desire to be a father. Do you think
that Hamilton and Angelica, do you think he was going to cheat with her? Or like what? Like, do you think she would cheat with him? Jane told me, talking about rewriting history, she was like, and fact check us that the line that that Angelica has, you've written my dearest Angelica
with a comma after dearest.
Right. And Jane's like, so that was actually Hamilton got a letter from Angelica with
a comma.
A weird grammar thing. And then he was the one who paranoid spun out and was like, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
But I love her little arc too of like, at the beginning, you're like, oh, fuck, she would do anything for this man. Like,
yeah. She is such a wonderful character,
Angelica. And his dumbass, again, I think when the Reynolds pamphlet comes out, and she comes back, and he's like, "Thank God you're here. Like, I need you." And she's like, "I'm not here for you.
I'm here for my
you're
fucking
crazy."
Sister, bitch.
Which is so funny. Again, it's like this guy is ass, dude.
Yeah.
The Reynolds pamphlet. Talk about it.
I don't have much to say about the Reynolds pamphlet, but I do have something to say about the song "Say No to This."
Say no to this.
It's so funny to make a man who is routinely cheating on his wife and paying a woman's husband for it, that he's actually the victim and she's the aggressor.
Wow.
Is so funny to me. Like, Say No to This cracks me up because I'm like, that is so, because men really do feel that way when they cheat. All men who cheat, especially when they get caught and stuff, they're all like,
because you will. You're getting caught.
You're going to get caught. Well, that's part of why you do it.
Duh.
We know that's that's the cycle. It's a cycle of self-loathing. It's a cycle of kind of like cheating is all about, oh, I hate myself, so I put myself in these positions where it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of I'm going to fail you. And then when I do, it validates my already low sense of self-worth, right? Like, that's what cheating is.
Just
I'm
smoke
not
a cigarette.
And I'm not interested in any further discussion about that or rationalizing of it.
Please.
That's what it is. And it's fine if that's what you're into. Just know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
To make Maria Reynolds be the one who's like goading him into it, and he's kind of like, I can't say no to this, and like how much he's like his resistance when it's like, oh, like Lin-Manuel Miranda's, that's a part of him that's showing where I'm like, yeah, all these men who cheat, they really think they are a victim of their, and they might know it's their own thing, like their own kind of, whether it's testosterone, masculinity, there's an idea of a male weakness being women, and women.
Yeah, men are terrified of women because they have this mythology, men, that women have this seduction power over them, and they hate us for it.
Yeah.
They've granted us in their heads this secret power over them, and then victimize us for it, as we see Hamilton do.
Well, and then they victimize us and then call themselves the victim.
And then
of a seductress.
To yourself, like, to the self-fulfilling prophecy of it, Hamilton, who's obsessed with like redemption, just set up a lovely little opportunity for himself to publicly drag his wife's name through the mud. And that's the thing that you and I also talk about cheating. It's like, if you're gonna cheat, do your thing, but don't make me look like a fucking fool.
Humiliation.
All of my neighbors, to all of America, to what's the first burn, like, and then, or when they're older, explain to the children.
Oh yeah. Why don't you explain to our kids the humiliation you put their mother through? Like why don't you do that? And guess who's gonna have to do that? Me. Oh my god.
If not, they're gonna hear it at fucking school. Yeah. They're gonna hear it from their friends. They're gonna hear it from the friends' parents. Like,
for sure.
If you're going to cheat, mind your business. Do not make your partner look like a fucking fool.
Fully, especially because, and I think Eliza has this in First Burn, it's actually really apparent, and less so in the version of Burn that's in the musical, where she's heartbroken in both cases by this Reynolds pamphlet and the humiliation of it. But the way it comes off is like that's her first kind of instance understanding that he's cheating, whereas in First Burn, it brings more of a part of Eliza that is still present in the musical, where she repeats the refrain, I know who I married, right? Yeah. And in First Burn, she's like, there's also dialogue about like, I see you with women, I know about your charms, I knew all of this, what you've done wrong, because I know who I married. I'm not even necessarily mad at you for cheating. I've been seeing how you look at my sister. I was willing to overlook all that because I chose this marriage and I know who I married, but you published this. You put this out and told the whole world you brought this woman into our bed. Like, it's like that, the humiliation is what's unforgivable, and that's really clear in First Burn. And in the second version of Burn, it's much more like, oh no, you broke my heart because you cheated. But I think there's a more nuanced and interesting perspective.
And then it looks crazy.
Yeah.
I remember being mad.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like
you're burning your documents, you're burning history, like.
And you're focused on the wrong things.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, yeah, because he's trying to do a revolution. Who cares that he was sleeping with some woman? But it's like, no, what he did wrong was published it.
And you want to talk about legacy, right? If looking at the masculine and feminine version of this too, right? Part of the bargain that she's making, to your point, is like, I uphold and protect our legacy by not blowing it up, making a mess, like embarrassing you.
Yes.
While you do this. Like, I'm not telling people I'm good with this.
Right.
I could tell fucking everybody I'm not doing that because I'm protecting me. I'm protecting you. I'm protecting our legacy.
Yes.
And then for you to go and do this and undercut everything that I'm doing for fucking us because of your
volatility, your recklessness. And that's the thing. That's what I think so many women find themselves in this trap, because when you do accept, that's why when I go, I'm not judgmental of if you're going to accept a cheating partner for whatever reason, right? Maybe he's
there are lots of
rich,
reasons.
A provider, a protector. There's a lot of reasons it's advantageous to be with a man and accept a flaw like he routinely cheats, right? Yeah. It really is. I don't judge this. However, it does often, that choice will often blow up in your face, because a man who cheats is usually one who is volatile and will slip up and will, more than anything, humiliate you. Which is the one thing a person really can't forgive. Like, when someone humiliates you, it is so hard to look at them the same way.
Absolutely.
Someone failing you is different, right? You can forgive and kind of help, but to humiliate you in public, it's like, fuck.
Well, and humiliation as an instigator of revenge, which we see in all of these. Pride is a huge
part of the
theme.
American Revolution, of course.
Yes,
I mean,
with all these characters too, and with him, and it's like
so many. Well, and that brings us to revenge. Also, I think makes me think of loyalty, right? Like I don't know what connection I'm making, but like, did you forget Lafayette? Like when we don't go to war with France.
Well, okay.
I don't have an end of that thought. It's just that's what it brought up for me.
Well, what's loyalty? What's pride? What's legacy? Like, what do we owe each other? To your question one more time, or on that idea is, are you fighting for an idea, an ideal, or are you fighting for people?
Right.
And that's ultimate. It's like, yeah, we can fight for the idea of liberty, is Hamilton's argument.
Yeah.
They don't have a king. This time the French Revolution did not go so good. They were doing it a bunch of times.
Right.
He's like, but in reality, so that is a time like perhaps he's privileging people over ideas, but
yeah, it's hard to say. But I also think you could play a really good Lafayette.
And also maybe the flip side, he's putting ideas over people, and that's his friend Lafayette, and he's like, it's not about French. It's not RuPaul's best friend race.
It's not RuPaul's best friend race.
Like,
I don't want to go to war with France right now.
I want to move.
We got to move our country forward.
Let's move our country forward.
Right.
Thank you for saying I would be a great Lafayette, you said?
Yeah.
Lafayette.
You know, I think you would just enjoy it because I think that has to be low-key the most fun role to play because the track that Lafayette's intro gets when everybody goes, Lafayette, and everyone's favorite Frenchman. And I mean, you know that the house is going fucking crazy and we're all like, I haven't even met this guy yet. It's my first time seeing Hamilton. And Lafayette walks out. He's everybody's favorite because y'all have told me in the text he's everybody's favorite.
It's awesome.
He gets this awesome fucking intro and I think you would body that. I think you'd have so much fun to be celebrated in such a way.
Well, I can't wait to kind of talk to the director and casting and see like where I'm going to fit in this. In this next, we should really see it. Like we should go see. Are they playing it? Is it on right now?
Is Hamilton on right now? We should go see Hamilton if we can.
Is there?
We can watch it on Disney Plus.
We're gonna watch it on Disney. Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to discuss? Because what I will say we didn't really do was talk about, for example, the songs or the story or other stuff about it. But none of that's, of course, as we've said at the very beginning of this podcast, it's about our relationship to the text. Right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Is there anything with this?
Like, do we want to just end with maybe some of our favorite parts of Hamilton, like some of our favorite moments and lines and why we love it so much? I would actually. Here's what I would love to end the podcast.
Please.
With. I would love to encourage. We should have maybe done this at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who are averse to cringe and corniness that would not see something like this that ultimately should. Like, there's a lot of people in my life who I know are not engaging with
we used to
the
be
work
those
of
people.
Hamilton, and that used to be us. And so I want to encourage people to really get into Hamilton. And I just think there's so much in this text. If you're with for those with eyes to see, you can find endless kind of nuggets of wisdom and beauty and the human experience all wrapped up in the perfect masterpiece, which is Hamilton.
And what I love about Hamilton is, much like our work, it is referential and it is building upon an American music conversation, an American culture conversation in addition to history. Like, it's our history. It's having... Yeah. Sorry. Again, blacked the fuck out. I would love to see Hamilton. I think it's a lot of fun. The music is perfect. Like, what is the music of Hamilton? It's somebody who has spent a long ass time doing the craft. And like, I really respect this. I think it's a great work, an inspirational work that like that I think can translate to whatever you're doing.
It makes me want to write. It makes me want to do stuff. Like, it is such a masterpiece and such a true work of a awesome auteur that then brings in so many other people to bring this vision to life that add more to it.
I don't have notes on what Lin-Manuel Miranda could do better or different.
No, I think it's perfect. And also, it's like the thing about Hamilton soundtrack, like, no skips.
No skips.
No skips.
And story, heart, great writing.
Yeah. And inspiring. Like, there's no way you're not going to listen to all of these songs and feel inspired. And that's, I mean, just to, I think, for me, close out with, like, Hamilton and Burr, like, you can both listen to My Shot
Yeah.
And want to not throw away your shot and want to act quickly and, like really go for it. And you can listen to wait for it and want to bide your time and wait to strike at the right moment. And both of those things are going to be applicable to you at different times in your life. And they both can be so inspiring in their own way. Like that Burr is such a great villain because he's not really a villain. He's you really understand where he is. You understand how Hamilton feels about him and feels that he's like spineless and stuff. But like, I don't think he actually comes off that way. And also from what I understand historically, that's not actually true. Burr was actually, if anything, more of a progressive politician by today's standards than Hamilton was. Like you and I would probably, if we started to really get into the politics of these actual people, would probably be a lot more aligned with Burr than Hamilton.
Here's what I'll say.
But of course, we're talking about the text, not the history.
Yeah, then I guess my final thought on the entire text and what we have gotten from our conversation is abolish the negative constitution that these like kind of racist and probably not even that good of singers created and adopt a positive constitution that endows people with rights rather than fights against. Like the Constitution in America is really about being anti-tyranny, anti the king, and is about what the government cannot do, not how and what the government must do for its people.
Oh.
And so let's build a better future together.
Let's build a better future. I don't think I'm a constitutional abolitionist myself.
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely document, but
You think it's a lovely document?
I haven't read it in a while.
No, it's not. It's not good.
So it needs amendments?
It's full of contradictions.
So is Independence.
Ooh, we're going to start playing that right the fuck now.
Oh, I can't wait to listen. Yeah,
I love you. Congrats on this episode.
Love you so much. What a fabulous episode of Stream Queens of Pod. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, mostly Spotify, YouTube.
In Apple Podcasts.
Share us with your friends and family and loved ones and the big Hamilton heads in your life. And we hope to see you back next week on Stream Queens the Pod.
I'm Julia Wendt.
I'm Erin McKeon. Let's turn the shit off and listen to Hamilton. All right.
All right.